Okay, welcome back to another sharing. Let's call it sharing. Okay, so I've been talking about narcissism and being gaslighted for the past few weeks, and just for some people who might not understand what narcissism or gaslighting is, I just wanted to elaborate further what it really is and what it can do to people. So narcissism, and by the way, welcome back if you're coming back, and welcome if it's your first time. So let's jump into this and see what it is. So narcissism and gaslighting are both psychological concepts often associated with manipulation and unhealthy relationship dynamics. Narcissism refers to a personality trait characterized by grandiosity, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. People with narcissistic traits often have an inflated sense of self-importance and may exploit others to fulfill their own needs. While not all narcissists engage in gaslighting, the manipulation tactic is commonly associated with narcissistic behavior. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse where one person manipulates another into questioning their own thoughts, feelings, and reality. This can involve denying or distorting facts, dismissing the other person's emotions, and undermining their confidence and sanity. Gaslighting is often used by individuals with narcissistic traits as a means of maintaining control and power in relationships. In combination, narcissism and gaslighting can create toxic and damaging relationships where the victim feels confused, invalidated, and powerless. So it's important for individuals who recognize these dynamics in their relationships to seek support and, if necessary, distance themselves from the abusive behavior. Therapy and support groups can be valuable resources for healing and setting boundaries in such situations. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation where one person undermines another person's reality, perception, or sanity. And the term originates from a play and film called Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into doubting her own perceptions and sanity by dimming the gaslights in their home and then denying that anything has changed when she notices. So in the film, he keeps changing the position of things every time he switches off the light. And then when the light comes on, the things have been changed, and the wife is like, how come that thing was there? But he's denying it and trying to make her not trust her own intuition and trying to make her feel as if she's crazy. In relationships, gaslighting can take various forms, such as 1. Denial and trivialization. The gaslighter denies the victim's experiences or feelings and makes them feel like they are overreacting or being too sensitive. And this is one of the things that really happen most of the time when it's dealing with narcissism. Like, I remember for once upon a time, we were at the hospital, and then a lady passed by. I was with my ex-husband, and then he was following her as she was, with his eyes, as she was passing by, and he still went on following her even after she had passed us and she was going far away. And then when the minute and then he noticed that I was watching him watch the lady, and I was like, no, why are you watching her? And he's saying, I don't know, there is something about her legs, that's what I'm looking at. And I was like, oh, okay, so if that is what you want to do, okay, I'm fine, I will look up every handsome guy around, and then we can be equal that way. Because I'm also seeing weird things about other people, so I will just stare at other people's, or rather other men's, handsome men, weird physique. And he started getting angry and behaving as if I was just overreacting over whatever he had done. Because I was telling him, how would it be if I did the same thing for you? And he didn't want to accept this. And it was really a funny kind of a situation, because he was denying that he was doing what he was doing, and he didn't want me to do the same thing, and he was getting upset. So he was trying to make me feel as if I was overreacting to whatever he was doing. So two, twisting facts. They might manipulate situations or events, often by presenting false information to make the victim doubt their own memory or understanding of what happened. And as an example, I can also give again. Okay, for example, there was a time it was just by chance, I was passing in the sitting room, and then I saw his mobile phone and a message had come, and I don't know what happened, but I just felt I needed to look at it. And normally I don't go through his mobile phone, because one, he doesn't allow me to do that. He never used to allow me to do that. And two, it's out of my principles. I don't go looking up other people's belongings. So but that time I was curious, and I was like, it looked, something just got my attention, and I decided to look it up. And then I realized that he was messaging with a girl, a very young girl, another girl, whom he had been speaking about, and he had been saying as if he was just helping her out. But the message which they were messaging each other, and there was a string of messages from her, from him to her, from her to him, and it was obvious it was not just any innocent kind of messaging. I hope people are understanding about it. And I confronted him about this, and he got angry. And he by presenting false information, he was trying to make it as if he was just helping out the girl with her education and whatever. And she is a daughter of his friend. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Because I didn't want to go further with it, because he can really start a row about such kind of things and make it very ugly later on, and then he turns the situation back to me and makes it look as if I am the one who is the bad one. So I just let it go. So that is one of the things, and he was just trying to make me doubt my memory by pretending that it's not the person that I know, and yet I knew it was the person he was messaging to. I knew it was the person I knew. Anyway, 3, projection. They accuse the victim of behavior that they themselves are engaging in, deflecting attention away from their own actions. They accuse the victim of behavior that they themselves are engaging in, deflecting attention away from their own actions. Like they will do something to you, and then they will turn around and make it seem as if you are the one who did that action. I hope that makes sense. Because, for example, again, the hospital incident, and he was looking at the girl, and this time he was trying to make it as if I was also looking at somebody, at the man around, and yet he was the one who was looking around. But he turned it around and made it as if I was the one doing that thing. 4, withholding information. They withhold important information or manipulate communication to make the victim feel confused or uncertain about what's happening. Like just recently, I was looking for the payment costs for renting houses. And there was one particular house we found, and I was asking for the price. And I knew I knew the price, but I still asked him. And by the way, I'm talking about my ex-husband. We are not together. So it's because of the children. That's why we end up looking up some things together. And looking for a house is one of the things that we need. I have to include him because he has his own particulars, and I don't want to argue about those things. Because for me, a house is just as a house as long as it's safe and it's in a good area with good people. Anyway, so I knew the price, but he was turning it around in such a way. He wanted me to give up on that house, and he was making the price seem as higher than how it was, so that even if I accept that offer, he was going to gain something just like a commission when I give that money, because he was going to deal with the finances of those things. So they withhold important information, and they manipulate communication to make the victim feel confused. And when I was asking, let me speak directly to the people, and he was like, no, I will speak with them. What has it got to do with you? And yada, yada, and whatever. So I just let it go. But I knew the truth, but he was trying to make me think otherwise. 5, invalidation. They undermine the victim's emotions, opinions, or perceptions, making them feel like they are not valid or worthy of consideration. Like, for example, in the past, when we were still together, I was doing a project, and I was having a meeting with one of the clients about how to go about the planning of the drawing and whatever. And he was sitting there because he had to take care of my baby, and while I was doing the meeting, it was in our house. And the client was somebody I knew, somebody who was like a family friend, and whatever idea I was giving out there over the design and whatever, he was like, no, if I were you, I would not do that. I would do it this way and that way, and he was trying very hard to make it seem as if I didn't know what I was talking about, and he knew better than I did. He was trying to invalidate whatever kind of ideas I had, and undermining my emotions, opinions, or perceptions about the design. So invalidation, that's how it will be. And these are just some of the things that can happen in gaslighting. There are so many other things that can happen. And gaslighting can have serious consequences on the victim's mental health, leading to self-doubt, anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Recognizing gaslighting behaviors is the first step in protecting oneself from its effects. Establishing healthy boundaries, seeking support from trusted friends or professionals, and if necessary, removing oneself from the toxic relationship are crucial steps towards healing. And so I hope this helps somebody understand narcissism and gaslighting in narcissism, because they go hand in hand together. They go together, because if somebody is a narcissist, they will definitely gaslight you into doing something. Like, for example, if you're talking to somebody and without, just out of the blue, he triggers you into an angry kind of an emotion, and then even if you're not angry, and he wants you to be angry, so he will tell you, why are you mad? Why are you angry? Is the kind of questions they will ask you. But it's not like you are angry or anything. It's just that they are trying to trigger you into being in that kind of a situation by manipulating you emotionally as well as psychologically. So I hope this helps somebody, and I hope people don't get to experience such kind of things, because they are really tiring and tedious, and when you experience such kind of things, it takes almost 2 years to get over such kind of things, especially if you end up having low self-esteem. So protect yourselves, and till next time, God bless.